Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Comic Book Flashback. Today, we are looking at the X-Men issue number 97. This issue came out in February of 1976. And as we look on the cover today, we have brother against brother. That's right, Cyclops and Havok duking it out right here. What the heck is going on? We're going to find all this out in this video today. So before we get started, go ahead, give this video a big ol' like, subscribe if you have not. And as always, let's go ahead and enjoy the great artwork, great storytelling by Dave Cockrum and Chris Claremont, and just enjoy the comic book experience. And so we also have Sam Granger doing the inking, Annette Kay doing the lettering, Don Warfield doing the coloring, and Marv Wolfman doing the editing on this issue. So let's go ahead and get started with the story today. We have Professor Xavier. He's having this nightmare, and as you could see from the great artwork depicted right here from Dave Cockrum, I mean, this looks like straight out of Star Wars, but I mean, this is very different from Star Wars in that this is just a bunch of star fleets firing at one another. It looks like a intergalactic space war going on. We just don't understand what the heck is going on in Professor Xavier's dream, but we come to find out that Professor Xavier has been having these dreams for 100 nights straight. He just doesn't understand it, and every dream ends with this one particular person dressed in this unique space outfit. You can't see the person's face, but he keeps having this same dream for 100 nights straight, and he wakes up screaming, "No!" And so, even though Professor Xavier is one of the strongest mutant minds on this earth, he still has problems. He's still a human. He goes down for breakfast. Moira McTaggart, we were introduced to her from last issue. She's the new housekeeper. She's going to be, taking care of the X-Men while Professor Xavier is gone on his vacation. And she could understand, and she sees just how nervous Professor Xavier is and how shook he is from his dream. And so she comes to comfort him. And we still don't understand the relationship between Professor Xavier and Moira McTaggart, but they have known each other for quite some time, as you could see from these panels. There's a lot of history between Moira McTaggart and Professor Xavier, and we'll touch into more of that in future issues to come. And so now we're here in the Rio Diablo, and we're introduced to Polaris and Alex Summers, or Lorna Dane and Alex Summers, and it looks like they have struck up a relationship. We have always suspected this, but we have, Lorna Dane and Alex Summers, they are in a relationship. We see a lot of kissing going on. They're the only people in this area, this region. And all of a sudden, though, Lorna Dane, she hears a knocking at the door. She opens the door, and she is struck by this blast. We don't know who this person is. There's a silhouette of somebody, but this main villain will be the main villain for this issue. So she's struck. She hears the screaming, or Alex Summers hears the screaming. He runs back to the house. It looks like Lorna Dane's is just fine. She has this weird looking costume she puts on. She blasts Alex Summers, and then we see again this red leg. Comes to find out, as we're going to look in the rest of this issue, that this is Erik the Red. You're like, huh? How is this Erik the Red? Well, we're going to have to really figure all this out. So we're at the airport now. The X-Men are taking Charles Xavier to the airport. We also see Jean Grey appear in this issue. Even though she had quit the team, she's still very close to the X-Men. And of course, she is also dating Cyclops. And so everybody's just saying goodbye to Professor Xavier. They're all saying, be safe, have a fun time on your trip. And all of a sudden, we have Colossus and a very disguised Nightcrawler here. He used Tony Stark's image inducer to allow himself to look like a 1930s movie star. But in the corner of their eye, they see none other than Havok and Polaris. They're walking and they're dressed in costume. And Cyclops sees it as well, Scott Summers, and he's like, Alex, what are you doing? And all of a sudden, we see Polaris. She strikes Jean Grey with a blast, and Cyclops is immediately alarmed by this. He's like, what the heck, Alex, what are you doing? And so we see right here that the people that are going to be flying this plane are like, we need to get out of here. Professor Xavier at this point has already got on board the plane, and so the plane begins to take off. And then we see Polaris and Havok. They're chasing down the plane. They're trying to kill Professor Xavier. It's like their goal is to destroy Professor Xavier for some reason. And we come to find out that they are under control of Erik the Red. Erik the Red has controlled their minds, and they're going to try. For some reason, Erik the Red wants Professor Xavier dead. And so we see a great battle here. We're going to have one big battle here right at the airport. The X-Men fighting Polaris and Havok and also Erik the Red. And so the plane luckily gets out of the way, but good Lord, look at that. They just destroyed that entire plane. And then here we go. Erik the Red makes his appearance, and Cyclops is like, how is this possible? I was Erik the Red. And if you don't know the full detail background on that, look at X-Men issues number 51 and 52 for more detail about Erik the Red, so you can get more detail on him. But as always, we continue the story. We have Storm. Now she's going to go duke it out with Polaris. And so Storm has had enough. She saves Jean Grey from mere death by saving her. And so here we go. Storm goes into costume. Once again, just a great artwork right here by Dave Cockrum. And so we have Havok here. He's going to go toe-to-toe with his own brother. He's like, I'm sorry, Scott, I'm sorry, but I can't fight this mind control. I'm trying, but I just can't. So Cyclops and Havok going one-on-one right here. I mean, they're just destroying all kinds of stuff. Havok blasts a brick, like this wall here, this stone wall, and it collapses on Cyclops, but Cyclops is able to allow himself to not die. He punches and knocks out Havok here for just a few minutes, while Colossus and Nightcrawler right here are going to be fighting Erik the Red, and Erik the Red is just so powerful. He knocks Colossus into this plane and almost pretty much kills Colossus. I mean, they're trying their best, as we see right here, how he pretty much destroyed part of that plane, at least the wing of the plane. And we see how Nightcrawler, he's like, holy crap, if you've killed Colossus, you're going to pay. But we see Colossus is a lot more stronger than that. He punches through, and then he just, one of the strongest punches ever, punches Erik the Red, and Erik the Red is out for the count for a little bit. Then we see Storm. She's going to charge up herself and cause one electric bolt to fry Lorna Dane, and it just strikes her, and she falls and plummets to the ground. And so now Havok sees that, and he's like, holy crap. And he's like, curse you, Cyclops, if you've killed her, if she's dead, I'll kill you all. And so we see Havok here. He runs to the safety of Lorna Dane, who is Polaris. And then through a mental alert by Professor Xavier, we see Wolverine and Banshee come to the rescue here. So now they are very outnumbered. So we see Erik the Red. He gathers Polaris and Havok, and they fly away. Cyclops, he has them in his sight. He could blast them, but he does not, because he doesn't want to hurt his fellow friends. And so Wolverine's like, what are you doing, man? You can blast them right now. And so then Scott Summers is like, you know what, Wolverine? Shut up. And so he's like, you one-eyed son of a, I'm going to get you for that. But then we see Storm. She calms him down. And so we see right here from the get-go that Erik the Red has been controlled by none other than Stephen Lang. And remember, Stephen Lang is in charge of Project Armageddon. And so next issue, we're going to see none other than the return of the Sentinels. We haven't seen the Sentinels in quite some time, and so get ready for that, folks, as the X-Men, this new team X-Men, fight the Sentinels. That'll be one great issue to look at, and we're going to look at that next. And so go ahead, tune in to next video here with issue number 98.